How many photos do you think I captured in the first pass alone? I bet it's more than you think. Are you ready for this? I captured This spring and summer have been incredible for catching jets. I've caught things like afterburners, growlers, afterburners, F-15s, afterburners, C-17s, and did I mention afterburners? Today I'm going to share a shoot with you where I was testing out some shots for a bigger production that I'm working on, and I'm going to take you along for the journey, so you're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a little while, it's a work in progress, so I'll keep you guys posted on it. But let's dive into this one. The location for this shoot was the same as my last video about the F-15 SGs. It's an awesome spot on top of a ridge with 360 views of all the mountains and valleys around it. We've had an unusually cold spring this year, so all the mountain roads that I would normally take to get really high up in the mountains were all covered in snow. So kind of had to wait around for a while, but it finally melted off. And this is the time of year that I'll go way up in the mountains and explore new spots, go to remote places, and just all around explore and adventure. And I actually tried to get to this spot a few weeks ago, but there's just way too much snow and I didn't feel like getting stuck. So instead of going up there that day, I just decided to kind of explore around and see what was out there that I hadn't been on yet or been to yet. And I actually found some cool spots. You can actually park just a little bit up the road behind me here, but if I tried to hike from that spot up to the one that I'm trying to get to, it would probably take 4, maybe even 5 hours because there's still a ton of snow and you'd just be post-holing the whole time. I went up there last fall, and with Darren, and we got up pretty close, probably a mile or two from the actual point, and we were able to hike up there, but it still took us a good hour and a half to get up to the point that we were trying to get to because the snow was so deep and we were just post-holing through it. It was exhausting, to say the least. We saw cougar tracks, bobcat tracks, all sorts of fun stuff. So I'm gonna go check out these other places here that I'll show you in just a second, see what we can find. So what I'm looking for here is that little dip right there is where the jets fly right through there. So I'm trying to find a spot on this hillside over here and this hillside over here. I actually think that point up there might be good and might have a good view. I think I've been up there before. But this hillside, it's all new to me, so I don't know what the vantage points are. It looks like there's a kind of a cliff right up in there. So I'm gonna go try to get up there. I know there's a road. I don't know if it's gated though. Over there, I know for sure it's not gated, but there might be a shit ton of snow. So we'll go check it out. As you can see, that's the end of the line on this one. I would for sure get stuck. Maybe. We'll walk up here and see. It might be packed down enough, but up there, that right there does not look fun. Yeah, see right here, no chance. This person almost hit this tree. I don't want to do that. I would definitely get stuck for sure. Doesn't look like fun. And it's a long way. There might not be snow up there, but getting up there, no way. Apparently this is a shelter that was put here for people who are, hiking around here. It's pretty new. Pretty nice, actually. Oh, wow. Look at this. This is cool. Got some skis. A lot of ski brands that I've used. You got a little camping stove, some painting. That's pretty cool. That's a cool painting. And there's my dog in the front seat. Probably gonna try and jump out. Truck ruts. Yes, there are absolutely truck ruts. We own this. I don't know who owns this, but it's pretty cool. Oh, another painting up there, weird. Nice little bench. What's that? I made it up to that spot that was the right ridge that I was looking at over there. I just need to go up this road a little ways. Parked right there because I don't know what this road is like. I'm worried about getting high centered on little things like that. So let's go check it out, I guess. So let's go. Well, let's go. Kind of have to do a little bit of bushwhacking to get to this one. So I'm looking for that cliffside, and I think it's right over here. It's starting to open up, so that's a good sign. Oh yeah. Look at this view. What a view. And that little spot over there, that's the other one I was trying to get to. Just gotta push through some of these trees. A lot of walking through the snow here. Out of breath, out of shape, but found the spot I was looking for, which is awesome. So we're gonna head back to the truck, head home, and let all the homies know. For this shoot, I had my trusty Z8, my 200 to 500 for the northbound pass, and then my 70 to 200 for video on the southbound pass. Oh yeah, that's right. We got 2 passes from the jets today. Like I already mentioned, this spot is so awesome, like so awesome, because the views are unreal. You can see all the valleys around you. You can see the Alpine Lakes peaks to the north, and on a clear day, you can see Mount Rainier. Unfortunately, the mountain wasn't out today. The one downside to the day was the weather. It was cloudy and a lot colder than I expected. As much as I hate to say this because it's a little embarrassing, but I was not prepared for this. Down at my house in the valleys, it was 70 degrees, high 70s. But up on top of that mountain, it was in the 50s, and it was windy. So it was really cold. By far the worst part of the weather was the wind. And one thing you'll learn about me is I despise the wind. It's my nemesis. I call it my nemesis because it's always caused issues in my life. And then today, it made it really hard to keep the camera stable. And when you're trying to get shots, that's a problem. One of the nice things about C-17s is you can actually track them on FlightRadar24 or ADS-B, and it was nice because we were able to see when they were a few minutes away from us. As the jets came into view, I could see the first one closely followed by the second one. And this is one of the coolest things with C-17s, when you see 2 of them low in a valley and they're both right on each other. It's just something you don't see every day. One thing I will say is that this isn't the lowest that I've ever seen them. And while this area is on a VR route, the VR route was closed because of a TFR, because of a wildfire. So the pilots had to follow VFR rules, which basically limits them to 250 knots and 500 feet above ground level. But this didn't stop them from working it and making it look awesome. Normally, we're all used to seeing airplanes from the ground looking up at the bottom of them. So when you're standing on the ground and you're looking down on the top of the plane, your brain kind of stops and says, wait, what's going on? And it's really cool. In true form, they stayed low for as long as possible before pulling up over the ridge that we were on. And as they went over the ridge, they made a hard bank to the right and dived down the other side. This gave us a killer view of the top of the jet. The coolest shot I got was actually when they were going over the ridge. The perspective was just insane. The second jet dipped a wing behind the ridge that was between us, so it made it look like they were so much lower than they actually were. Check these out. On the southbound pass, they actually took a different line. When they came into view, they were low over a lake in the distance before disappearing behind a hill and then circling around to hit our spot again. The biggest challenge today was the wind. It made it really hard to get stable shots because every gust would grab the lens and kind of push it around. And to top it off, I was a little bit cold, which made me tense, and that's not ideal for good shots either. Just like every time I capture a C-17, the highlight is always seeing something so big that can maneuver like that, flying low in the valleys like it's nothing. Out of all the aircraft that I shoot, it has to be the most impressive, simply because of its sheer size and agility. After the shoot, I was really happy with the photos that I got, but if I'm totally honest, I wasn't that happy with the video. It just wasn't that smooth like a lot of my other shots, and it takes a lot to stabilize it in post-production, so I'm just creating more work for myself. Just like every type of content, the better you can capture it in camera, the easier your life is going to be when it comes to editing. How many photos do you think I captured in the first pass alone? I bet it's more than you think. Are you ready for this? I captured 1,000 photos. That's 1,000 photos from the time they came into view until they went out of sight. Like that, I have to stop and ask myself, what are you doing? Do I have no self-control? I don't know. I don't know. I did it once before too. I sat out taking pictures at Nellis for, I don't know, maybe an hour, 30 minutes, something like that. I took 2,000 pictures. I gotta get this under control. I wonder if they have button pushers anonymous or something. I don't know. And here are my favorites from those 1,000 shots. If you want to get your hands on any of these shots, I'll have them on my website. I'll link it below. While I wasn't 100% pumped on everything I got, I'm still really optimistic about this spot for the upcoming shoot. With that said though, I might actually focus my efforts on going somewhere where I can get more tactical shots rather than scenic shots. And I have a couple other locations for that, and one of them I've never tried before, but man, it looks cool. And I think it's gonna be amazing. The pilot told me it's possible, so we're gonna give it a shot. And that does it for this one. If you made it to the end of this video, comment "the moose is loose." That way I know that you actually watched all the way to the end. All right, catch you guys in the next one. Peace.